I can't remember who requested this.
I have a feeling we're about to find out.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
No, we're live.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. Same Adams live. Same Adams time. How did it go? Same bat time. Same bat hour. I can't remember. That's an old like 60s Batman that I'm just too old to that I know that. So that's pretty bad. Anyways, today we have another request. You may have seen it on our notification for the live today, but a few weeks ago we had roughly like 3 requests, and I'm trying to hit them all kind of in sequence. So last week we had done, what towels go with what product, which was a really cool live. We actually got to talk about a lot of different things. And at the end of that one, I even talked about, if there are 3 or 4 towels that you should invest in, these are the ones. So it was a really cool topic. We had Crown Rally in, so we got to, not only talk about product, but there were some really cool cars here. And then this week, we're going to showcase the interior cleaning gun, which was a request. And then next week, we're going to get into the kind of the definition of the Adams Polishes graphene line. And kind of from my perspective, but I'm going to I'll kind of explain to you like how I see it, but also hopefully a way that makes sense for everybody. So I think people are pretty excited about that one. But today we're going to talk about the interior cleaning gun, and actually getting into doing this video today when I was getting ready, Tyler reminded me that this interior cleaning gun is actually going to be discontinued. We actually just launched a new version of it, and the new version doesn't have the canister with it, so I'm going to show that as well. So I kind of said I want to do both because some people might already have the interior cleaning gun, and then some people might be getting the updated Tornado interior cleaning tool. So I'll talk about the reasons of why we decided to switch. Still virtually the same thing. It just I'll show you that here in a second. But anyways, what I do want to mention, first things first, this is a pneumatic tool. So I have my compressed air right here, okay? So you've got to make sure that you have compressed air. And Charlie and I were just talking about it. A thing to consider too is having a decent enough tank size. We kind of recommend having at least a 20-gallon tank for your air compressor. They're kind of the ones that sit a little bit taller. The like pancake air compressors, they're like 5-gallon tanks. They just don't hold enough air to allow the tool to work properly. So him and I were talking about it. I have a 5-gallon air compressor. I mainly use mine only for like pumping up basketballs, footballs, soccer balls, and also like bike tires and things like that. Even the tires on my cars. But for using like pneumatic tools and stuff, you want something that has significantly more capacity. So at least 20-gallon tank. I think Charlie said at his house he has a 35-gallon tank. So that's something to consider. Also, the PSI, you have some knobs on your compressor of like how much PSI you want coming out. We kind of recommend keeping it at like 90. It really, like between 90 and 110 PSI coming out of your compressor really optimizes your pneumatic tool, especially your interior cleaning gun or your Tornado interior cleaning tool. It's really going to optimize the airflow coming out to where it's going to be most effective when you're using it. So just a couple things to consider when it comes to your compressor. And I think really having a smaller capacity tank, like I was telling Charlie, like when I use this at my house, like it got a really good burst of air, and then it just started to die out really quick, and then my compressor kicked on because there wasn't enough air inside of the tank. So
Right.
what you want to avoid is like you use your gun for 1 second and then you have to wait 2 minutes for your tank to fill back up. So the bigger capacity, the better. I think ours here, we have an industrial compressor. It's like a 90-gallon tank, super powerful, but we have it dialed in right at 90 psi coming out. So just something to consider. So
Rodney says, yeah, I can only run my gun for about 15 seconds at a time, then I have to let the tank refill.
yeah, unfortunately, well, here you go, Rodney.
I'd be curious what his tank size is.
Yeah, Rodney, tell us what your tank size is. But, Rodney, guess what? You could run it for 15 seconds, do an interior, charge your customer a lot of money, and then you could buy a new compressor. So there you go.
Exactly.
But anyways, we'll talk about it here in a second. Chris can show you the gun here really quick, a little more close-up of it. But essentially, what it is, it's almost like a foam cannon, I guess you could say, kinda. But it doesn't produce any foam. So the canister below, you can tell that it's blue. I've filled it up with Total Interior Cleaner. That's my favorite product to use inside of the interior cleaning gun. And then when you look over on, when you look right here, this thing's going to, this is kind of like the top of your foam cannon. So this is going to regulate how much product it pulls out of the canister. And then,
Okay, we are back.
we're back.
So
All right.
maybe just explain where we went.
So just first apologies, the phone overheated. So we got in the car, turned the AC as high as it could go. So hopefully we're good now. But what I was saying before, kind of where I left off, was another feature of this, it has the bristles on the front. So you can kind of agitate things and do certain stuff with that, scrub a little bit, but they're long and soft. So they don't do great job scrubbing. Now, if you do have this interior cleaning gun.
So are they less for scrubbing, more for just like dislodging dust?
Yeah, like more for like getting in the nooks and crannies to like you're kind of using the blast of air and product and the bristles to like move stuff around so you could wipe it away, essentially. Another thing I do want to show you guys is the interior cleaning gun has a weighted straw like this. So no matter which way I turn it, it's going to weight down into the canister and it will still pull the product out of it while you're using it. So even if it's like this, it will still work. So that's the interior cleaning gun. One thing I will say, if you have this product, I'll actually show this to you right now. Once you have it connected, there's the reason why they call it like a tornado gun is there's a straw inside here that shoots the total interior cleaner out of it, and it like runs in like a circle kind of. Now, if I pull the trigger, it's gonna come out dead straight right now. Reason being is there's a straw on the tornado thing. Okay, so you got to pull this off before you start using it. So then when I pull you can hear it like it's spinning now all around. Okay, and the other thing, when I'm getting ready to set this up, when I pull this, there's like barely any product coming out. So you want to dial it up on this side. So this would be, let's see, this would be full. I'm pretty sure that's 0 actually. There it is. So now I can feel the product. You should be able to see it on the seat right here. See that? So now we have product coming out of it, okay? So essentially the way you're gonna use this is like on the door over here. I'm essentially using this as like my sprayer instead of using the product with the spray gun on it. Okay, so I like to have, like we talked about this last week for interior, my interior cleaning towel, the edgeless utility towel. So what I can do is you can see some of the utility towel and then wipe it off. And oh man, that's great. Then you just get all this stuff out of the seams and the nooks and crannies. And I will say this, okay? We say this about Adams Polishes stuff all the time. Okay, I'm gonna set this right here. I'm gonna walk over here for a second, but we say this stuff all the time, okay? A lot of times with Adams Polishes products, less is more, okay? Overusing the product isn't necessarily the best technique. And the one thing with this interior cleaning gun is that it reduces the amount of product that you're using all the time. So I can just go through get some of the product on there. I do also like to have a bottle of it with me. If you can hand me that, Chris. So if I do run into a spot that's a lot more dirty, I can always just spray more product on there to use more of it I'm working on. So the big broad surfaces, I'll use just a couple sprays of the Tool Interior Cleaner, but then when I'm getting into all the seams and everything else, I can really get the fine details of my interior as a cleaner. Like if I spray it in here to get stuff out of the seam there, sprays onto the glass, and I can clean the glass also while hitting that panel on the door. To get a nice clean finish. So having both I think is important. Like I sprayed, I can close this a little bit, but I sprayed like where you roll the window down right here with a gun all through here, and that looks really nice, but there's still some gunk on here. So what I can do is then spray Total Interior Cleaner onto my towel and then rub this, scrub it, and then flip the towel to a fresh side, and boom, it's perfect. Okay, so having both is like really important. So interior cleaning gun, just like another way to distribute your like cleaning product. I would say probably the two products I'm using the most inside that gun would be number one, Total Interior Cleaner, because it's, you know, it's become a quick fan favorite because it's so versatile. Like you can use it on the glass, the touchscreen, every single surface on the interior, including minor upholstery type of cleaning jobs. But the other one I would use is leather interior cleaner. So, you know, if you have more leather, like this car is a good example. Like his dash is leather, his seats are leather, his center armrest is leather. A lot of his door panels are leather. This is probably a better product for this car because really what I want to do is deep clean the car and then condition it after. And the conditioner is going to help moisturize the leather, but it's also going to bring back like a new car smell because our leather conditioner smells like leather. So it's a really, really great. This leather interior cleaner with leather conditioner is probably one of the most underrated interior cleaning processes for a leather interior.
Do you need to condition the leather after Total Interior Cleaner as well?
After Total Interior Cleaner, not necessarily. You know, I would say, it's weird. A lot of cars today, like modern cars today, they'll have like leather seats and a leather center armrest, but like everything else is vinyl. You know, so Total Interior Cleaner is a great product for a car like that. But then I would recommend, you know, every month or every couple months to condition the leather areas, because when you condition the leather, it keeps it more pliable. So then you don't necessarily get this paneling or like the cracking in the leather as much. Like it's kind of like your skin, you know. The more you moisturize it, the better. And so, but again, like leather and interior cleaner works on everything, maybe excluding the glass and the touchscreen. So that's oftentimes why I'm mainly using like Total Interior Cleaner for like a quick clean, you know. But when you need to do a deep clean on interior, even if it doesn't have leather, leather interior cleaners, a more robust cleaner that's going to remove like more dirt and grime, you know. So yeah, I'd say like either one, but you kind of have to pick. You kind of have to assess your interior first. How bad is it? You know, is your like the leather on his seats right now are looking a little bit like. Let's see. Let me just clean some of this with. The thing about leather and interior cleaner is it has a little bit of alcohol in it, and so it really cuts through more of the stubborn like dirt and grime. And using leather interior, like this is Ryan's car. He worked in customer service. You know, he this is a daily driver for him, so he uses this a ton. And you know, he has people riding in his passenger seat quite a bit. So, you know, and it's red. It's like a darker red leather, and so cleaning this is going to bring back the color of it and make it look a lot better. You know, I imagine his driver's side seat is more dirty, but this is getting dirty as well. But like I can tell, I don't know if you guys can tell, but after I just clean this off, it looks kind of chalky. And that's because like dry, yeah, chalky or yeah. And so leather conditioner, I could even go grab some, but would really like help this leather seat very well. But like in his seat right here, you know, there's stuff all inside his seat in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now there's a couple ways to get that out. Number one is to do the method that Adam taught me, which is like this. You go like this, hit the leather really hard, and then it like makes everything bounce up and come out. Or you know, you can take the interior cleaning gun, run the bristles inside of there with a blast of air.
Don't even try to talk over that.
Give it like a quick spray. Take the towel. And much better. And I would say too, like the thing about the interior cleaning gun is jobs like this, if you're a professional detailer, this is a great tool because it makes the interior cleaning process more efficient, like a little bit faster, especially when you're trying to get into the details like this. So it's one thing I really do love about this gun, but that looks a whole lot better.
Yep, all that little dirt is gone.
Now, after all that talk about interior cleaning gun, I think we have 3 left in stock ever. So what we did is we transitioned to a new Tornado interior cleaning tool instead of, we didn't call it a gun this time. Okay, so this one we'll set aside, and the new tool we have is this one. It's essentially the same thing, but it just doesn't have the canister with it, so to put product in. And the thing that we found is that the canister, although it's great to like distribute product, it's a little bit clunky. Like it's hard to fit into certain areas. So, and the other thing is, you know, being able to spray it with the product, you know, you can just use both hand in hand. And now this one, okay, I would say is even like more powerful. Like Chris, put your hand out in front of this and feel this.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like more, has more oomph to it, I guess you could say. So it's actually gonna push a stronger blast of air to get things out of the nooks and crannies. Okay, and one example for,
You can tell it just sounds more intense.
yeah, it's like it has a turbocharger in it.
Yeah.
Right? Just it's like a V8 versus a 4-banger, you know? It's like it's just a little bit more powerful. So one thing I do actually like this tool for, the other thing I'll say is this tool is more versatile. You can use it for a couple different things. I'm going to talk about that right now. So one of them would be taking a cloth floor mat like this, okay? And I'm gonna set it right here. You see that okay?
Yep.
Chris is doing car interior yoga right now. And
he had a good shot.
yeah. And what you can do with this is, you know, you can take this. And with some of the pet hair and stuff that's stuck in there, you can really blow it out of the surface. Okay, so with this, you can do quite a bit of work. I mean, you can see, like, I could have brushed this, but it would kind of move stuff around. With that strong of a blast of air, it really pushes it out somewhere else, and then you can really get into cleaning these. So that's one thing I do really like about, that's one thing I do really like about this new tool, is that kind of process alone. I mean, I haven't even cleaned this. I haven't even taken a brush or anything to it, and it already looks like almost new. So again, like, if you're a professional detailer, having something like this can make a process like this very efficient. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm using the blast of air. It goes inside the fibers and it bounces and comes back out. So it's pulling the stuff up and out away and then blowing it off the surface. You know, so really like this tool for cloth floor mats, okay? Another thing is, before you're gonna start vacuuming, the car, I know this is a challenge for me. And oftentimes I was using our air cannon, but now because this is smaller and it has the tornado motion, I can go through and kind of these like weird nooks and crannies that are in here where it's really tough to vacuum, especially like underneath the car. You can take this and blast everything into the floorboard over here, then take your vacuum and vacuum everything up. Okay, so it just gives kind of new life to blowing out your interior before you do vacuuming or anything like that. So, you know, if anything, you could go through and, you know, I mean, like, if you look at his dash, there's a ton of pet hair up there and dust and grime. So, you know, if what I would do essentially to talk about the whole process is, I would first come in here, take the floor mats out. If they're cloth, I would blow them off with the tornado interior cleaning tool. Then I would start blowing the interior. So I would take this up here, blast everything out of the nooks and crannies like so, okay? And then what's gonna happen is it's gonna kind of put it everywhere. Eventually, I'm gonna get it down into the floorboard. Then when I vacuum, I'm vacuuming up all the dust, dirt, and grime. But now up here, you can see there's less, you know, it's just more dirty and maybe a little bit greasy and less like dusty and dirty. So now I can just do my cleaning process, and then I don't have all the dust and stuff pushed. Like, I don't want to then try to go do all that stuff and then I get more dust and pet hair and stuff again. I have to vacuum again. It's like the less amount of steps, the more efficient it is, the more money I can make per hour, essentially, if I'm a professional detailer. You know? And I would say too, another thing that's versatile about this paired with our pet tool is a really good, like, 1-2 punch.
The pet hair removal.
Pet hair removal tool. Like, you can brush that, it has like rubber edges to it, then you can blast some air and it'll blast the pet hair out of it, and then it's easier to vacuum up. You know, so another really cool, unique kind of purpose to this. And the other thing I do want you to see, I think I might have it inside. Let me just run in there really quick. Hold on one second. This new Tornado interior cleaning tool, I can take this tip off. It just screws off like this. So you can see here's the mechanism that, oh, I just blasted it off at Chris. So, lesson learned. The
Maybe disconnect it from the air while you change the tip.
exactly.
Beauty of live production, folks.
Yeah, I love that. Another question is, remember how it was in there? Try to get this out.
Rodney says that swivel on the new gun is sweet. You could really see it when they were sitting on it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, the thing about it is, I could even show you really quick. I just got to get this piece out really fast if I can. But the thing about the new tool is it's, there we go. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
Maybe. Is the swivel part of it is actually metal. It's not like a plastic straw like the other one. And so it actually performs really well. I think this goes, yeah, it goes like that.
Probably more durable too.
Yeah. So what I was gonna show you is I took this off, and then and then you can screw this part on. So just like the, sorry, we're live right now.
Oh, you guys have a good day, man.
Thanks. Screw this on, and now you have the bristles again. So when you're blasting out of the nooks and crannies, you can still use the bristles. And then again, it's like, you know, you could blast out of the nooks and crannies like this. I know I already did this. I know I already did this door. But then I can take my total interior cleaner and my towel and just do a quick little boom and perfection, which is what we're all going for. Right? Okay. Hopefully that. So yeah, essentially you can see it's like virtually the same thing, just doesn't have the product coming out of it. But without the canister on it, it's so much easier to move it around. And the other thing that's really cool, there's a feature that you can select when you order this product. There's a swivel right here. So like it swivels both this way and also moves this way. So your hose isn't going to get all tangled up because this is able to move around. So that's a really, really nice feature. The other one doesn't have that.
Do you want to just restate which one is being discontinued?
The one that's being discontinued is the interior cleaning gun, like so it has the canister on it. The new one is this one that doesn't have the canister. And I actually, you know what's funny is I did a polishing class at this place, and at Rupes actually, and they taught us because we have, you know, we talk about your pad conditioning brush, right, which is this guy, to brush your pads out, okay? And they have a brush that they use for that, but where did I just set? Oh, it's right here. They actually use this exact tool, and so they'll use the brush to like loosen up the dried compound and stuff, but then they'll actually take this gun and blow the dust out of it. So you're kind of doing double the work. Like you're brushing it to loosen up the dry compound and everything that's in here, and then you blow it and all of it goes away. And it makes it super effective for, you know, cleaning out your pads. So, you know, I can brush this to loosen it up, and then I take the gun, and then you reduce the amount of dust that's in your pad. Because listen, like even when you turn your polisher on and you run the pad conditioning brush over it, it will loosen up the dry compound and everything, but you don't actually like get it out of the pad. And obviously I'm not getting 100% of the stuff out of the pad, but the less dust you have, the less it's going to get on the car while you're doing your job. But also the dry compound can actually cause problems when you're polishing, especially on really soft paint. So I don't know if you can see that. There's so much dust coming out of this pad. And into the interior. Perfect. Which we just cleaned, you know. So. But this is a super effective way to clean your pads out. See if you can see a difference at all. And when I say clean your pads out, this is like while you're doing your polishing and compounding job, not like when you're cleaning them after, you know. So you can kind of see, well, I can definitely see,
Oh yeah,
a difference between this side and this side.
it's a big difference.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't feel that, Chris. Like if you feel this side,
Yeah, it's you can feel more compounded the darker side.
yeah. So a really good advantage to having this tool. It's like I said, it's more versatile than just doing like your interior cleaning stuff. And because it's more powerful, it actually generates a stronger blast of air to do more work on different things. You know, not only is it your interior, but it's also like for your polishing pads. And I mean, there's other things you could use it for. I was just gonna see if I can.
Don't have the trigger.
Yeah, I know. Almost hit Chris in the face. So I just wanted you to see the difference of the tips. So this is like a plastic straw with weight, like these 4 weights at the end. And then this one's like metal. So it's just moving in this direction, where this one's like just wherever it's gonna go. So for you can leave it, Chris. So this one just is a little bit more effective because it's a metal straw that's doing the tornado type of movement, where this one is just a plastic straw that's kind of, this is a lot more powerful. So any questions on that? I know this is like one of those lives that's more featuring a product.
We had a question earlier. Some people commented, but it might be good to address. Scrolling up to it. Hold on. Aragon 303 said, off topic. I do not have a garage big enough for my truck, and I need to ceramic coat it. Am I able to do it outside if I have no other choice?
Yes. You said Eric said that?
Aragon.
Aragon. The higher the temperature, so like if it's hot outside, like today it's 90 degrees, I wouldn't recommend doing it like on a day like today when it's 90 degrees. I would wait until you have a day when it's like 65 or 70. The lower the temperature, the easier it is to work with the ceramic coating. Also, in direct sunlight, and here's the thing, you could still do it. It's just in hot weather, it's just the coating cures very fast. And I know this from experience because I ceramic coated a car right where that silver car is, and it was sitting right there. And I did it. I want to say this was like late last year, but it was like in August, so it was still about 85 degrees outside. And I did the spray coating advanced, the gold label of the graphene ceramic spray coating, and I had to work in really small sections because even the spray coating was flashing off the surface really fast. And mainly the main reason why is because it's not necessarily like the heat around you, it's because the sun is beating down onto the paint and it's heating up the substrate panel, which is generally like steel or aluminum or whatever, and then it's radiating heat from inside out, and so the surface of your paint is really hot. Okay, so the cooler the day, the better. And so if you are going to do it outside, and I would say this, okay, you can't control this because Mother Nature's unpredictable, but if you can do it on a day that's like either 60 or 65 degrees, you can push it to 70, but there is some cloud cover and it's not going to rain, that is ideal because the white cloud cover will expose the rainbow curing effect on a darker colored vehicle. Or if you're doing it on a white color car, you can't really see the rainbow effect as it's flashing off the surface. So like you can give it a swipe onto the dark glass panels, but with cloud cover, it's going to expose the rainbow a lot easier than if it's in direct sunlight. So
Plus it'll heat up less if it's not in direct sunlight.
plus it's like diffuse the light, keeps it cool.
One person in the comments mentioned also you could like park it next to a really tall building.
Yep.
And try to use that shade.
I mean, you could also do it at night. I've seen people do that every once in a while, but that's asking a lot. I mean, the thing about applying a ceramic coating at night is it doesn't create any noise, unlike polishing, right? So, you could polish during the day and then ceramic coat at night if you need to. But, the other thing too is like, just even if you have a family member or friend that you could say, hey, I'm going to do all this other work in my house. I just need your garage for like an hour, hour and a half. Can I just borrow the inside? And, depending on who it is, they'll say yes. Depending on who it is, they might say no. But, that's another thing that you could consider as well. So yeah, but I mean, to be honest with you, like we do a lot of detailing at car shows, like Hot August Nights, the Barrett Jacksons, all this stuff. And they're doing all the detailing mostly outside. Most places we have like tents and everything, but like the sun is creeping in, so all of our products can, I'd say with the exception of like water spot remover or like graphene advanced in a really hot day, you absolutely can use pretty much every single one of our products in the direct sunlight, depending on, maybe not in Arizona when it's 112, but don't recommend it. I do recommend playing golf in Arizona though when it's like 105. It's like perfect, especially in the evening. But yeah.
Corrupted says that car looks nice inside. What car is it?
This is a Mercedes AMG. I can't remember what model it is. This is a pretty nice car. It's a C43. Mercedes-Benz AMG C43. Since I'm not all too much a car guy, I couldn't tell you what the C43 means. I think it's like C stands for it's a car, and the 43 stands for it goes 43 miles an hour. No, I don't know. Could be,
but only 43.
Yeah.
No faster, no slower.
Yeah. No, I know there's a structure to it. I'm not Mercedes. I'm definitely not familiar with. But yeah.
Did you mention Chester just commented? I coated mine in a warehouse and then drove it home. It was warm and dry, so it didn't get any dew on it. Rolled the dice on the dew. Do you want to talk about the dew and water exposure?
Yeah. In Colorado, it's called Mountain Dew. But yeah, so that is a question we get quite a bit is when you ceramic coat your car and you're finished with the whole process, I think on the bottles it says like you need to wait 24 hours before it's exposed to any sort of moisture or water, okay? 24 hours is a pretty generous number. Like I would say 12 hours is ideal. We just say 24 hours to that's like best case scenario, okay? And I think 12 hours is a better time frame. And so there's a couple ways to think about that, okay? And this is something I've been thinking about a lot, okay? And I think about this a lot because I play golf, I watch golf, I play baseball, I watch baseball, I coach baseball. In all of these things, there's nuances to everything, okay? In baseball, there's nuances to how you approach pitching to a hitter. There's nuances in golf of like how you approach playing a golf hole. Detailing's no different. There's nuances to it as well. So the nuance to the ceramic coating part and avoiding getting, water or dew or moisture on the car after you coat it is the time frame. So like if you think about it, it depends on the area you live in. Colorado, you rarely get morning moisture. Maybe on the grass, but like generally not on a car. Whereas you go to a place that has more humidity, like we were just in Detroit a little while ago, there's definitely moisture on the car when you wake up in the morning because there's just moisture in the air all the time. And so like if it was me and I was working in an area that had like a little bit more humidity, I would almost do my polishing process to get or whatever the prep process is for you. If you're not going to polish your car, fine, but claying it at least and getting the car to where you want it before you ceramic coat it, right? And I'm saying get it to that point before you even surface prep the car, okay? And then if you're in an area that you get morning dew, find a day, like let's say you do it on a Saturday and you have Sunday free as well. Wake up on Sunday, once the dew is gone, ceramic coat your car. Call it like 9 in the morning, okay? Coat it at 9 in the morning. By the time from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, the coating will have cured, or maybe it will take an hour to coat it. So from 10 in the morning to 10 at night, the coating will have cured, and then by the time it hits the moisture or dew overnight and into the morning, you'll be fine, okay? If you're in a dry climate like in Colorado, you can time it in a way that you do a lot of the prep and everything during the day, and then in the evening at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, that's when you ceramic coat the car, and then you let it sit overnight, ideally like in a garage. So from 5 at night to 9 in the morning, you're looking at 16 hours roughly. Boom, you're ready to go drive it, even if you got hit with rain or whatever, okay? But, I think we just recommend 24 hours because it's like best case scenario. So that would be like, you could always like coat it in the morning and then wait to drive it the next morning, so there's just ways to think about it. But I would say like 12 hours is kind of ideal. And the reason why we say that, by the way, is the way the coating cures. You put the coating onto the car, the coating cures from like the inside out this way, okay? So what you're trying to do is or when I say inside out, I mean like from the surface going to the top layer of the coating, right? From like the car surface to the air, essentially, right? Cures like that. And so what we want is the 12 hours ensures a really good bond to the surface of the car, but the longer you let it cure, the thicker the layer it will be, so then the water doesn't get on it, you wipe it off, and then you're wiping off layers of the ceramic because it's not cured all the way. So the longer you let it cure, from 12 hours to 24 hours, the better it is. And when I say better, that means there's more ceramic on the car and it's going to perform better for a longer period of time. So yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Any more questions? If there's no more questions, we'll just wrap it up. And then, like I said, next week we're going to be doing more of, not more of, but we are going to break down the graphene ceramic line, essentially. So We'll talk about, the coatings and how they're different. We'll also talk about the different maintenance products. We have a ton of graphene maintenance products. I think that's where most people get confused, because it's like, which one do I need? Which one do I use? And
When do I use it? How often?
yeah, when do I use it? How often? This and that. And I think a little bit more of the maintenance stuff on the graphene line is like, how does it fit into how you take care of your car? So if you're touching your car more often and you're doing a lot of maintenance all the time, there might be one product that's better for you. But if you're the kind of person that's like, I put the coating on my car, I don't want to really do much to it for a while, there's another product that works better for you for that. So we'll kind of go through that and talk about the differences and why those products were chosen to even be there. So yeah, should be pretty informative. And then again, like, I don't know if you guys notice, like, it's really helpful for us when you give us topics to talk about, because it answers a lot of questions for people. It shows cool products, like a new product that we just released. But yeah, if you have suggestions, you can always go back to our YouTube after this is over, find the live video or anything. I mean, realistically, you comment on any video, because I see the notifications. I monitor all of them, so I'll see like, hey, I have a suggestion for a live topic. Boom, here it is, and I'll write it down, and then we'll put it on the queue. So
Ken Wilson says live on cannons and how to maintain them and flush them out after you use them.
okay, live on foam cannons and how to maintain them. I'm gonna have to find that answer because I've never done that. So that's a good topic. I'll talk to Colton and Charlie. They know more about that than I do.
I think Dan once said run like clean water through it.
Yeah.
Clear out the soap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it, I think. I mean,
Dan says I should be there at HQ next Wednesday, so maybe Dan can join us in person.
yeah, I like that.
For once.
Maybe Dan just does a live.
Yeah. How's that sound, Dan?
How's that, Dan? I'm over it, dude. Fire me, and Dan's gonna take over. He just has to travel to Colorado every Wednesday.
Totally
All
makes
right.
sense.
Well, hopefully this was a little bit interesting. I mean, I think it's one of those kind of tools. It's like really versatile, but I can give you kind of the basis of it, but it's really up to you to like get creative of how you're going to use it. There's a lot of different ways you could use this. You could dry your dog with it, There's all kinds of stuff. But again, just to reiterate, at least a 20-gallon compressor tank, run it at about 90 to 100 or 110 psi to get that nice blast of air. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. I can't wait to talk about our graphene ceramic coating line.